Hi, this is Dave Perry, and you're watching Retro Gaming Revival live.
Good evening, everybody. How are we doing? It is Wednesday. It is Retro Gaming Revival live, uncensored. Could Ryan be pushing his chest out anymore? Lovely t-shirt, that. Lovely t-shirt. How are we all? We all right?
Yeah, really good.
Excellent.
Good.
Excellent. Yeah, so before we go around, Tim's got a new mic, which
I can't see him. Where is he?
Where is Tim?
Is he there?
It doesn't need to be there, does it? Let's, there you go. Can you still hear me okay?
beautiful, Tim.
I thought that was the thing, just having a huge mic next to you on the screen. That was
That's how it's done.
Isn't it?
That's how it's done.
There you go. That's better. That's better.
Beautiful. Lovely, crisp, clear voice there, Tim. Wonderful. Okie dokie, let's do a quick rip round, even though everybody can see who's here. So, as you can see, it is just the five of us tonight. We are going uncensored. Ooh. So, we have Mr. Triangle Face, Tim.
Hello.
We have Mr. Blunners.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Mr. All Elite, Ryan.
Hello. Just showing my Clash of the Castle t-shirt.
Look at that. Thing of beauty.
Very nice. That is very nice.
You not get one.
Yeah, Mr. Dorbs. We have Mr. Dorbs with us as well. What's Dorbs got on?
Greetings. I've also got
oh my.
Nice t-shirt's good quality as well. 30 quid.
35 quid.
35
quid. Yeah, 35
bargain.
I mean, my new t-shirt's not a Clash at the Castle t-shirt, but it's, you know. There we go.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Gotta love a bit of that. You can see Ryan's uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable with that t-shirt. Beautiful, beautiful. So, whoever is on the chat, let's have a little run through, see who we have in this evening, because it's looking pretty busy in there already. Who have we got? We have got Mr. Goldtooth in there. Mr. Everneal, as always. Mr. Bricks, how are we doing?
You got Rhaegar.
Mr. Rhaegar, yes, how are we doing, buddy? Rob Taylor
Rob.
in the house.
Number one fan.
Seren, how we doing? We're Mr. Mike, excellent. Oh, yes, we can talk about that if you would like us to. Give that one a little cheeky star. We can come back to that. Who else we got in there? Mr. John, Crazy Burger, howdy, dowdy, howdy. Excellent. So we've got a nice little full house. So yeah, as we said earlier, if anybody has a topic they want us to talk about, or randomly just wants to ask us any question, feel free to just wang it in the chat, and we will more than likely answer it. Because like I say, we are uncensored this evening.
Can I just answer like John's asked about the chippy tea? If you go back and watch our last video, the Clash of the Castle prediction video that Dorbs and I done on Friday night, which we'll talk about later on in the evening, who got the most predictions right. There was a bit at the start where I get a chippy tea delivered to me. That was a setup. You need to go back.
Can't you tell?
You need to go. You need to go back to a Christmas episode of Everchat, and about 50 minutes in, someone gets a chippy tea delivered. So, yeah.
It was a homage to that.
Yeah, the greatest moment on our channel ever.
It was our little auteur signature.
Yeah.
So, excellent.
Very
okay. So let us throw up the very first topic of this evening, which is going to be interesting. So obviously we're going to be really interested to hear what everyone in the chat thinks about this as well. So our first topic, the Evercade EXP Capcom deal. I think this is going to be a good and interesting discussion because I think there's lots of things that people want to say on this. So I am just going to offer it out to the floor and see who jumps first. So the Evercade EXP Capcom deal. How do we feel about it?
We've all got
Wow.
so
I will. All right.
Moving on.
I'll throw some stuff out there then. I'll
whilst you
kick
do
us
that,
off.
Ollie, do you want someone to like put it up on the screen? Maybe
Oh, yeah,
Tim's
go for
good at doing that. Tim's good at finding.
I don't have my second screen on at the moment.
Oh, Tim.
So I normally have my two monitors. I don't have my second monitor today.
Tim, you've let me down. You've got a
Sorry.
humongous microphone.
Sorry.
You've not got. That's taken up all the desk room.
Yeah, that's what it is. My new mic takes up all my desk space.
Here we go. Here we go. I'll go on to Evercade's official website because that would be the best place I would say to have in the background. And let's fire. Okay, right. See, I've got one all set up for the topic later. So this has thrown me a little bit. Professionalism as always. This channel.
It is.
Share screen, Chrome tab. We will get to what we think about it. I promise you.
Whilst you're doing that, what's everyone drink? I've got Birra Moretti tonight. I've gone Italian.
Nice.
You've gone Italian. I've got water.
It's got water.
Water. I am absolutely swamped by the mic. I've gone from being replaced with the duck to replaced with the mic.
All right, there you go.
So I think my view on it is
how big is the
exactly
mic, Ollie?
Well, you can see it
As
covers my
is.
face.
It does. So it's a good size. That's what you need.
That
Let
is
me turn it off.
Yeah. So I think that comment you just brought up there pretty much sums it up. So
yeah,
and
that sums it up for me.
It pretty much sums it up for me. I think in terms of if this was your jump into Evercade, or you didn't have the handheld, you just had the VS or something like that, or you're a total newcomer to the handheld itself or the company, it's a cool deal. It's a very, very cool deal to have 18, and not just 18 games where there are 2 good games and 16 pap games in there. I would argue it's 18 pretty good games. Some of them are exceptional games.
You able to read the games out?
Can you? Yeah, get the thing up on the screen. It should be under like news or something. There we go.
There we go.
It's got most of them here, isn't it? So it's got
not like sequels, because that's a bit of a cheat, isn't it? Really.
Some of them will be, of course. So, but the main ones I think are on the top here. So, Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting, which is Street Fighter 2 Turbo for us in Europe, and that is the arcade port. There's Mega Man 2, which is a great game. Mega Man X, which is pretty cult-like. Final Fight, Ghouls and Ghosts, Strider, Breath of Fire. Is it 19?
Yeah, it's like 3 different versions of 1945, whatever it is. There's quite a few versions.
Yeah. Why do we need three more shoot 'em up games? Firstly, and like 1942, 1943, 1944. So just put one of them on there and pick 2 other games.
Where it's got tape mode, I do see why they're going to push a few more scrolling shooters, because that's kind of the appeal of having it sideways, isn't it? I suppose. But it's difficult because I've got my arcade cabinet and there's absolutely tons of scrolling shooters on there. And every now and then I'd be like, oh yeah, I fancy a scrolling shooter game. But so many scrolling shooter games are very, very similar. So you can tire of them quite easily.
Yeah.
You kind of have to be like, you'd have to play a scrolling shooter for a while and then just move away from that genre for a bit before coming back to it. Because otherwise you'll just get bored after a while.
For sure. It's one of those things, again, where you kind of, for me, when I jumped into buying the original handheld, the thing that really twisted my arm on it was the Xenocrisis double pack with Tanglewood. And again, that was a good deal because that was still the cheapest way for me to play Xenocrisis properly and legally. So with this, I guess with things like Mega Man X, that is a very expensive cartridge if you want to play it on original hardware and properly. So I mean, like I say, I think it's a really good move in terms of if you don't own an Evercade, or if you're someone, you know, like the hardcore fan base, people like to own all of it anyway. Then it's just a really good pack-in for people. The thing, I guess another good thing is it's not just a pre-order exclusive. It's just if you buy an EXP when it comes out, or you buy an EXP this time next year, you're still going to get it. So it's not.
They promised a pre-order exclusive. So
they haven't said it's a pre-order. They said every EXP will come with it.
They said if you pre-order the EXP, the black one, Founders, whatever you want to call it, you'll get a pre-order exclusive.
Someone confirm that or not? I'm pretty sure they said somewhere that it comes on. It will come with every EXP. It's not just going to be.
And also, how long does that license last for on those EXPs? So, for example, we know that some of the cartridges, I've got some of the cartridges behind me here, like the Oliver Twins has gone out of production now, I think. Is this going to be on EXPs forever, or is it going to be for 6 months? Is it going to be for a year? We don't know. And are they going to have another EXP in a year time? Likely. Or a different color, and that'll come with 12 other Capcom packed in games, and then it'll be 18, and then it'll be, I've got to buy that EXP now to play those Capcom games because there's no other way of playing it, and that's another 130 quid.
Yeah.
And you know, in my mind, this should have been on a cartridge. The whole point of the Evercade is it's the vinyl. I've nicked this off IGN, but it's the vinyl of the video gaming community, and they've gone against what they said they were going to do. Watch the initial videos of their launch. It was all cartridge-based manuals. I know you're getting a manual with this for Capcom. Great, that's brilliant. You know, I want a cartridge. I want a case. This to me, it's just I might as well buy an RG351P. It's yes, it's licensed, but are the people who made those games really getting the money? Probably not. So yeah.
I was going to say before we sort of, because there are some question marks, and that is definitely one of them, isn't it? Shall I stop sharing the screen now? Everybody knows what it looks like.
I think Crazy Burger's got it here when he says you're paying double. So do you know what I mean? You are paying for it when you're buying an EXP. You're paying double the price on the original. Yeah,
but it's that last bit there that he says, because we'll come back to some of the other parts that are a little bit. I don't want to say negative, but it's, you know, there's some, it raises questions because it's got that initial excitement of, oh wow, this is a great announcement, and it is. I think it's really important that that could be the thing that opens the door for other things. You know, if it does well, and you know, hopefully it does do well, because if it does mean there's a Capcom cartridge down the line or a Konami cartridge in the future, you know, that's going to be great. And if this is what they've got to do to kind of get it to that, then, you know, maybe it's a needs must. They don't want to, you know, cut their nose off to lose a deal or something. Which, so it's got good bits in it. But yeah, I totally agree with you, Ryan. Maybe there's some sort of licensing issue as to why it can't be on a cartridge, but the whole point of the Evercade is this physical media thing. And yeah, like you say, mentioning the IGN bit.
So say in a year's time they bring out, you know, they're going to bring out more hardware. That seems to be their cash cow. We're 3 years into Evercade's life now. 2 years in, we've had we've had the original handheld, the VS, the XP. I imagine in a year's time they're going to bring out another console of some sort with wireless controllers or something like that, which will be different. And then what will that have built in? Konami collection, that you have to buy that console, and there'll be no other way of getting those games.
It would be a real shame it'd be a real shame if that becomes a model. That would be a real shame if that became
and if this
a model.
is successful, that's the way they'll go, because it'll shift units. Well, in my mind, that's what they'll do.
Yeah, but don't you think having a cart out would like make it and bump it a little bit? Do you know what I mean? At the minute, was it 20 quid? Are they? How much they gone up to? 18 quid. What if that was 20? So what if that was 25 quid for this limited edition? Because it's more on.
You know, a cartridge with Street Fighter on Final Fight. It looks awesome, doesn't it? Yeah, that would be, you know, having that on your shelf. Look, mate, look what. Oh my God, you've got those games. I've not seen Capcom games on a cartridge since the 90s. That's amazing.
And play it on the VS. You're forgetting that as well.
Yeah, you're forgetting there's no 2-player with this either.
At the moment. I know they've said they want to fix it, don't they? They're working on something.
How are they going to fix it?
All I can think is it must be something they can add to firmware, and then you can kind of do like a link cable type thing. and they can just send it an update via. Well, yeah, like Rob said, there it's it's Wi-Fi enabled, which is great. That is a good move. That is something that really should have been done a while ago.
In all fairness, it does look decent. Like the fact that you can do it in like on the tape mode, and they've got those. The games list is good. It is some decent Capcom games on there. But I agree with everything that's being said. It's if you'd already pre-ordered an XP and you're getting one anyway, and then you saw this announcement, you'd be well chuffed with that.
It's a winner.
That'd be great. But it's like, you don't want to, everything that Raj said, I think sums it up. It's like, are they just going to go, okay, in like less than a year, bring out a purple EXP with like less games on it, and you have to buy that as well? I was thinking, if I didn't already have a handheld and a VS, I'd probably be a lot more interested. And the starting point of the Evercade, one of the reasons I got into it at the beginning was the price point, because it wasn't that expensive, was it? And the games were like £15 a cartridge back then. And even the VS was not a huge commitment to spend on it. It was pretty good value for money.
It's still not. You can still get your standard VS, one controller, one arcade collection for £79, which is a cracking deal.
I'm just going to share something called the Capcom Home Arcade, which is £198 at the moment. Okay.
Yeah, I do also agree.
Look at the games. Look at the games that are on here, and then look at the games that are on. So that's on Street Fighter 2 Hyper. That's on there.
Yeah.
Ghosts and Ghouls is on the EXP. Mega Man, the Power Battle, is that on there? Or there's a Mega Man game. Final Fight, that's on there. 1944, that's on there. So these games have been released on other like plug and play systems. So, and Capcom Sports Club, that's a great game. Why haven't Evercade gone out and got that? Oh, well, I guess because it's a good 2-player game. But in my mind, if I'd rather have this.
Yeah, but then I guess we've got a few Evercade things already. That's what kind of pushes us into that, I guess, doesn't it? It's because I do that comment that Andy's put up. I do kind of agree with that. If Capcom came to you and said, "Look, this is a deal we can do.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see what happens." Like you don't turn it down. We famously said, we didn't turn somebody down for an interview because we didn't want to be the ones that did that. But at the same time, the one thing I don't think that we've sort of mentioned yet, which also is maybe a little bit of a kick in the teeth, is people that maybe have, like we said earlier, bought the day one editions of everything, got multiple handhelds now. They've got the white one, the black one, the purple one. If they weren't intending on getting the EXP, it kind of feels like the people that have really stuck with it since the beginning. I'm sure some of them probably are getting an EXP as well, but if you're not intending to, then it just kind of leaves them behind a little bit. There's a lot of people that are really dedicated to the system who maybe, I don't know, can't afford the EXP. I don't know. I still think it would have been a really nice offer if they'd sort of said, look, some of these games could work on the original Evercade, because I'd imagine some of them can. And as like a thank you to everybody for sticking with the original system for as long as they did, there'll be 3 or 4 of those games are going to make their way to your handheld via an update or something. Chuck Mega Man X and a couple of really cool titles on there or something, just to kind of not totally forget about everybody. That would have been a nice thing to do.
But what is saying here, no one's saying that like if Capcom come to you and you said no. We're just saying that surely you would go, if Capcom did come to you, you'd be like, look, we can make you more money by putting a higher, a cart that can play on everything. It's just a shame, really. Because
maybe Capcom don't want that though, because of that arcade system, and they want to bring out their own plug and play that's got 2 players. And that's a unique thing for them, isn't it? We'll give you these games, but we're limiting you to playing 1 player on all of them. And don't get me wrong, having Capcom is awesome. Who doesn't want Street Fighter 2 and Final Fight? That they are very, very good games. So it's elevating Evercade to a new market, and casual gamers, if they can get it into Game and John Lewis and things like that, especially around Christmas, if your other half's a gamer and they're really, and you see that on a shelf, 129 quid, it's not, it's affordable to a lot of people. It's not, 550 quid for a PlayStation 5 or however much that is. So It's just getting it out there. And I agree, getting Capcom on a box is a great marketing thing. But I just feel for people like myself, everyone here, apart from Daubs and Blunners, who have got a handheld and a VS, and I know myself, I'm probably not going to get an EXP. So I can't get those Capcom games unless I pay £129. Or I wait and then hope that they bring out a cartridge in the future, which if they do, then that's going to be really unfair on collectors as well, because where they're numbered, you've got those games on your XP, and people who collect for the numbers are going to be like, oh, I need that, otherwise I'm going to have 1 to 7 and then a gap and then 9, 10 and 11 because I haven't got the Capcom arcade.
It's there's a lot that we can kind of unpick with this. I think it's on the whole, it's a good idea, it's a good deal, and there's a lot to take from it. But I think a lot of that speaks to either the collectors, the people that are really hardcore supporters of the system, and it is a great community of people. Everybody that loves the system, they're all fairly decent people, all of them. It's just after that initial excitement that I had for it, being like, wow, that is an announcement, isn't it? That is an announcement. that's not
Daubs
just
by the look of it.
Well, I've been sitting here listening to your comments, sitting there patient.
Can I just, before you go, Daubs, I just want to reiterate what Nintendo Ollie is saying. The community is awesome, and I've made some really good friends in the community. So, I really wish well for Evercade, and I hope it's a success. But I can't sit here and agree with everything that they do, and I think that constructive criticism is the best way to be about these things, rather than sitting here and being like, oh, it's brilliant. When when you sit back and look at it, it isn't a great deal for everyone.
I think they're a bit stuck, really. I think they only have the option of they goes digital or they're not going to do a deal with them. But
anyway, Daubs, we've been waiting
Daubs.
patiently.
Here we go. Yeah.
Right, so
Let me get rid of that.
when it was announced, I was at work with Ollie, and he told me about it, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. I can't believe it. I was absolutely shocked. I couldn't believe it. I thought he was joking at first. But then also looked into it. I was like, wow, I can't believe that. And then I read the the little caveat. It's only exclusive on the EXP. And I was like, whoa, hang on a minute. That's a bit cheeky. And so is it a cart that's just exclusive? No, it's already built in. So for me, are they going down the download market? Are they going to have like a download store, like a Google Play Store or an Apple Store where you can just download games? Are they going down that road? Even though they said from day one, we're all about physical media, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, I think it's amazing that they've got Capcom, but I'm so disappointed they've only got it on the EXP. For me, that's terrible. Because if let's just say I was a massive fan, like some of the YouTubers we've seen, who from day one have bought everything. So you've got the original handheld, the purple one, the VS, all the cards, etc., etc. You've even got the black handheld as well. You've got both versions of the VS. You spent probably, let's just say, £800 on everything, all in. So you've given that company £800 of your hard-earned money, but you can't play the Capcom games unless you get an EXP, which you're probably looking at another 130 quid. So you will have to pay 930 quid to get to get everything to play, which I think is terrible. And I know I was quite surprised actually. You've been quite negative about it all. It's quite surprised me. But I think personally, it's amazing they've got Capcom, absolutely fantastic. But then reading into it a bit more, it's just like it's so bad that it's only on the EXP. I think.
But you're saying you're feeling sorry for those YouTubers, those big fans, but they're the ones who buy everything. So Ever or Blaze know.
Okay, well, let's just say
they're going to buy.
That triangle face. You get. I mean, he's got a VS and a thing.
Or us three here. Us three here.
Yeah,
pretty much.
So you've got Ryan. You've probably got. You've certainly got more than me,
100%. Pretty much got more, yeah.
So you've probably spent.
I haven't brought the last four, but But yeah, I've got everything bar the last 4 cartridges.
I've been quite selective with the
say-
cartridges that I get. I've just been getting the ones I think I actually want and play. So I've not been. I've been ignoring the numbers and just going for like, what are the cartridges I think I'll actually use.
But yeah, you paid 500-600 quid. You can't play the Capcom games unless you pay another 130 quid minimum, which I think is pretty poor. It's pretty poor from them.
Yeah,
They should think about their loyal fans, and I've said it before. They need to think about all those fans that have supported them from day one, like the Evercade Fans Hub. I think they're great. You know, ignore some of the cringy people that I see on YouTube. Ignore them. Go with the Evercade Fans Hub because they're even going to.
You mean that people?
I'm not saying who it is. I don't. That's your opinion on who it is. So that's your opinion. Yeah. Ignore those people because no matter what they do, those people will say how great it is. You know, it's ridiculous. Even I'm not going to name him, but one person said that the
possibly
Evercade
Crazy
handheld,
Burger, possibly.
the Evercade handheld is better than the Steam Deck. I mean, that's just insane.
The other thing as well, so if you go somewhere like Droid X and look at all the handhelds they've got available with all like the preloaded with loads of games, like some of these are really decent and you get a huge game collection on that. So if you've got that amount of money to spend, what kind of handheld could you get from Droid X for 130 quid? Yeah. You could get a really
my RG351 is a million times better than the Evercade. It's a lot better. Evercade is good, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to be completely negative and say it's terrible, yada yada yada. You know, it's a good system. Yeah, there's faults, but fair enough. They seem to be sorting those out, which is obviously a positive. But it's not a patch on the Steam Deck and not a patch on the RG351.
See, I've seen comments saying, "Oh, the Mega in the Evercade community, like the Mega Drive Mini 2 is a cash grab. It's got different games on it than the Mega Drive Mini 1." Well, what's the EXP doing? It's exactly the same thing. Exactly. And people, you know, but it's just that blinkered vision. You need to like look at outside. You know, Mega Drive Mini 2 has got 40 games on it. And it's got Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic CD. It's got Mega CD games that haven't been released on any mini console. I don't recall. So that is like, you know, those games are like must-haves in my opinion on a mini console, and it's really desirable. And Sega are huge, so Sega will sell loads of them. So to say that is a cash grab and the EXP isn't, you know, it's not right. Because ultimately they both.
It is a cash grab because they do it exclusively through Funstock, who are their sister company, and you have to pay all your money up front. It's a you know, but yeah, good luck to them. I mean,
Rob made an interesting point at the top a minute ago where he says it for some people it might be an upgrade because it is something that the community and even that's it. So even people that that have been sort of more critical of the system, the original handheld system that is, have said for a long time, look, this has got a terrible screen. Like it was out of date when it was launched. The viewing angles are not particularly great. You know, the build quality wasn't great, but then you pay for what you get. It was always an affordable system. You know, you're not too worried if you drop it on the floor. So the fact that the EXP feels like they've kind of listened and gone, right, let's put a good screen in it. Let's make the viewing angles good. Let's make it look, I mean, I don't know what it feels like, obviously, but let's make it look like it's a bit more of a high-end product. Let's change that logo a little bit. So they are listening to people, which is, again, something that they're quite good at. But it does kind of, yeah, I do take what you say with that, Dorbs, and that, you know, and Ryan as well, you know, people comparing the Mega Drive Mini 2 as a cash grab when it's, I mean, you could argue that it is, but Sega fans could argue, no, it's not. It's got 40 totally different games on it to the other one. And some of these games
apparently, according to Mike Colton.
Yeah. And some of those games are probably crazy money to buy the original hardware for. So again, if you want to buy a licensed version of, I don't know, Sonic CD, for example, I don't know if that's on the Mega Drive Mini 2, but if you want to buy a licensed copy of that and play it through an HDMI cable, you'll probably have to get the Mega Drive Mini 2. So is it a cash grab, or are you giving Sega your hard-earned money so they can continue to, you know, make cool things. I don't know. Yeah, I agree with you though. You can't say that's a cash grab and something else isn't when it's similar. You know.
I also see comments like, "Oh, the EXP means I can play online. I'm sorry, I can play games without being online, like the Nintendo Switch. But the EXP's got Wi-Fi, so it is online because that's how you do your updates, and that's how like I think Blaze are going to try and troubleshoot. So it is online. So regardless of how, you know, it's not online that you can't play people on, but that's your choice when you go onto a Switch. If I don't want to play anyone online on a Switch, I won't play anyone, and I'm not distracted by it.
Yeah, but I think it is a good bonus though. You think a lot of these people, like you said, are already I've already got this in the it already got it pre-ordered. So as soon as this is now getting announced, they're thinking the quality they're getting bonus. So that's probably why you're getting met with both. But
yeah, I'll just bring up this one from Andy as well, because it is a, you know, I'd imagine some people probably do feel a bit like this. You know, they've met the criticisms of the original handheld, but they're still getting criticised. And I think that just comes down to the idea that regardless of who you are as a company, you're never going to please everybody. It's impossible.
No.
So the people you should try and please are your hardcore fans and the newer comers as well that are going to be sort of jumping in with this. And I think in that, if we look at that, they've probably they've done it well. But unfortunately, you're never going to be able to please everybody. And you know, I think we've been pretty fair. We'll move on to the next topics in a minute. In a
criticisms
second.
aside, I still think it's a good move. Like, I think the EXP as a handheld has got some updates that people have asked for. People wanted to see Capcom on the Evercade, and they've done that. So I am taking it as a positive update. I do think it's a good move. Just have those criticisms about it.
Yeah, don't get. You know, I've sat here and everyone thinks I'm really negative about it, but the updates have the updates have definitely improved the original experience. And if I didn't already own an Evercade handheld and I was new to this, I'd be like, wow, this looks pretty cool. But the thing that's disappointing is I've got pretty much everything, and they expect me to now pay another £129 so I can keep up with everything else.
Absolutely.
And that's what's frustrating. And I know it's personal choice, and you know, I probably won't, like I've already said, I doubt very much I will buy an EXP. However, there are a lot of people who are avid Evercade collectors, and they will need to buy it. And especially in a cost of living crisis, why can't you just stick that on a cartridge and charge $25? And I know it comes back to Capcom, but surely they could have negotiated something with them.
No, maybe they will in the future. You know, maybe now they've got the door open and they've got to deal with Capcom. Maybe it could change in time, but perhaps they just had to make that decision for now.
We'll see.
Can I just add one more thing about Evercade before we move on?
Absolutely.
Just one more
about pre-orders open for the EXP, and I was disappointed to see that it's no longer available on Amazon, and it appears that Evercade supplies are weaning their way off of Amazon. So if anyone knows a reason for that, I'd be interested to know. Because Amazon is
Sorry, mate, I cut you off. Go on.
No, I was just going to say, for all their criticisms, Amazon's a great way to pre-order things because they don't take the money up front like other companies.
Game got it up for pre-order today. I don't know if it needs to be paid for up front with Game. I know a lot of normal pre-orders with Game are debited on release, aren't they? So that, I don't know, that could be an option. If anyone's got a Game card, you want to get some reward points on there, you know, go pre-order Argos.
What about Argos?
Ooh, don't know. Not checked.
Argos, I don't think they take it up front.
No, if they've got it, I don't know if they've got the EXP for pre-order or not.
Yeah, Andy Davidson's made a point here. When's Playdate getting Capcom? But Playdate's totally different, isn't it, to Evercade?
It's not even a colour screen.
Playdate's a new. You know, they've got like new indie games on there, haven't they? You pay a monthly subscription.
And it's like a crank, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks interesting, you know.
Like Crank
never
Man.
Really.
But the screen on that's garbage, apparently. The screen on that's terrible. I've watched reviews of people like tilt it and the screen's dreadful.
Yeah. But I mean, people keep the conversation going in the chat. If you want to take the conversations over to the Retro Gaming Revival Facebook group, obviously all opinions are welcome everywhere. We enjoy interacting with people who don't necessarily share the exact same opinions as us, because that's what creates good discussion. As long as everybody is just respectful of each other, we'll welcome all opinions. So please keep the conversation on this going, because I'm sure there's more to come.
It's not on Argos, but you can get a VS.
You can still, which this might segue into our next topic, unless I'm jumping ahead, you can still pre-order an Amico in Argos.
Oh,
Tim! I keep getting adverts on my Facebook feed going, "Oh, do you want to pre-order an Amico?" I'm like, not particularly, but you keep checking in on me.
What a segue, Tim!
Breaking news: game, you have to pay for that. You have to pay for it up front.
You have to pay for it up front.
For the EXP.
Wow,
Yep. I've just gone through, and you have to pay for it up front.
That's
so that's probably why it's not on Amazon.
That's marginally disappointing.
Because they want to get your money up front.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Sort of it's like a crowdfunder, really, isn't it?
Can I just say before we go, these things are amazing, and I just want a Capcom one because they are really cool.
They are cool, man. They are cool. That being said, though, if anyone from Blaze wants to chuck us a review EXP, I'd love to have a bash on one.
So would I.
Chuck it.
Oh yeah, don't throw it. But yeah, I do. Well, of course, I mean it. I would absolutely love to have a go on one of these things, see what it's all like. But is it something that's on my radar right now? Unfortunately not. And I think I said to you, Dorbs, at work the other day, this is one of the first Evercade products or Blaze products that I'm really interested in. I just can't justify it right now at all. Maybe next year, I don't know, who knows, I don't know, but I would love to have a go on one. I'd love to see what it's like. So if there's any events that are coming up, I'd love to talk about it openly and honestly with it. They need
to get a OLL next year and have a table with all the EXPs stacked up with Capcom on there. Give a 10% discount or something at OLL. I don't know how. I'm not a businessman, so they know what they're doing more than me. But imagine that, for anyone at OLL, get one with 10% off here, and they would shift loads, I reckon, because you get people who might not necessarily know what Evercade is.
Impulse buy.
Someone playing it. Yeah, and it is an impulse buy.
And you go to an event like that expecting to spend a bit of money, don't you? You normally go with a bit of a budget. You think, if I see something really cool for a certain amount of money, I might just pick it up. That's the kind of thing that people might pick up at an event like that.
Yeah.
Or you spend it at the bar like I did last year.
I hate to. I spent a lot more money in the bar than I did at any tables.
Spend it on tap.
Okay.
Anyway, I am going to segue nicely from Tim's little inclusion there about the Amico into our next topic of conversation, which is, of course, the Intellivision Amico, the system. Just when you think all of the information and news and, all the, the pro Amico people, the anti Amico people, just when you think that battle is finished, they just reel you back in, don't they? They just dangle that carrot in front of people just enough to really piss off this group and really excite this group. It's borderlining marketing genius, but there is still no bloody system. So, what was the recent news? There was an email that came out, wasn't there? And the email was quite long. It was full of words, and it didn't really say a lot. I can't. Someone see if they can, because someone on Reddit will have it, won't they? Because it's the sort of place that people go angry for this kind of thing. I seem to remember it kind of sort of alluding, as they always do, that this thing is coming out, that there's things going on, but without actually saying how far in development they were or when it was. Just what I mean, but it didn't really say anything, but it said a lot of words. Has anyone got the email?
DJC has told us it's coming out, and I for one believe him. He's been telling us it's coming out, and I believe him. 100% it's coming out.
But haven't all of Intellivision offices, they've all shut down now, haven't they?
No, that's a good thing. That's the good thing. They've shut all the offices to save money to start the production. That's a good thing. That's what DJC has actually said. It's a good
To
thing.
be fair, in the current climate, you can pretty much do any job working from home, can't you? So I do understand, that's not a bad, what did they need that massive office for? Let's be honest, with the bigger, like, platinum Amico Running Man logo. It was stuck up, that was probably cost thousands.
And
It's
the cars
just
in the garage as well. That was quite funny.
They said they wanted to do like a quiet. They said, "Oh, we're going into a quiet period," because I think they were in a position where everything they announced and said was met with loads of
quiet
backlash.
period.
But they
Yeah,
got
I'm not
backlash from
surprised.
anything they said, people were making like people were hating on it quite hard, weren't they, at the time? So it's probably wise of them just to like disappear for a bit. But I wasn't expecting them to come back out of the shadows, but like, oh yeah, we're still here. We're going to bring a console out, promise. It's like, yeah, it's bizarre, but I kind of hope it does come out. I do hope they do get something out, but it's been such a weird thing to watch.
Problem is though, is that they release their games at Christmas, mate. We're now 9 months in. We're 9 months into the year. Thing. Like, what's going on? Like,
yeah, that's the thing. A lot of the other stuff, I think, cut them some slack. They're trying to bring out a console, like, they're trying to bring out this system. Just let them crack on with it. But to bring out games for a system that's not been released yet, like you say, like 9 months ago. Like if you bought those games, you'd be like, "Where's my console? I've got these games."
Well, those games are not exclusive to Amico now, are they? For them to be able to make money, I'm sure that's in that announcement that Ollie can't find at the moment.
Yeah, I can't find it anywhere.
In there saying that
they've had to bring it up, mate.
I think I found it.
Yeah, they've had to make them non-Amico exclusive, so now they'll be on other systems. So, if you want to play Ski on your PS5, then I'm sure that'll be on there at some point. See, Evercade ought to be, they should get hold of those Amico games and stick them on a cartridge.
100%, because that in itself would be an absolute riot. I mean, a little Amico Intellivision or an Amico cartridge. I mean, Christ.
The Intellivision cartridge is pretty decent, to be fair.
The first one was, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty decent.
Has anyone got that email yet? I'm desperate to read it out or have someone read it out.
No, it's quite long. I think I found it.
Oh, maybe we don't read it out. We'll pick out some choice. Pick out some choice.
Basically says this is Phil Adams, CEO of Intellivision. I plan to respond sooner, but the company status. The team has been working through some production pipeline bugs that have delayed this update. I've stated previously, updates from myself will be made when facts are available. That being said, here's a few updates, and it basically like 1, 2, 3. So this is our primary goals. A small pilot run was to uncover any issues in the production pipeline before starting a larger production run. Fortunately, we did catch one significant problem, and it's basically it was in the it's a bug that was actually in the controller. There's a bug in the controller that wasn't working, so that was why they've had problems. 2, we signed a licensing deal with BG Entertainment. GmbH, the details of which can be announced later. Here is a quote, and I'm not even going to bother reading that.
No.
Quote. 3, we have another partnership deal that will ensure that 2 of our most anticipated IPs will be available across multiple platforms.
What do you reckon they are before you move on? What do you think of the 2 cornholes?
Cornhole, yeah.
Cornhole on the Switch.
Got to be Shark.
A baby shot now, was it?
What's that gun? That like moon buggy thing?
Yeah, Moon Patrol.
Yeah,
Finnegan
that's
Fox.
got to be one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that is just a new game.
I know. It's
reskinned as an old game reskinned.
I think Finnegan Fox. I don't know if we can play that exact game or a version of it. It's already out, isn't it? You can already play it somewhere.
Yes, it's just called something else. Yes, Crazy Burger's nailed the one that I was thinking
Gym
of.
4. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Well, there's a bunch of people saying about that they didn't actually have a game for that. I don't know any details on that, but I've just seen a few people say like, oh, they had that teaser trailer and that's it. They didn't actually have a game. They just had a teaser trailer they'd mocked up. So I don't know if they've done any work on it before.
It was just Jim running across a beach, wasn't it? Literally just running on a beach, and that was it. One quick shot of Earthworm Jim.
Fox and Hounds.
Yeah.
I used to go to a pub called the Fox and Hounds.
So did I. Yeah.
Great Disney movie.
The target for these IPs is simultaneously (brackets or later) with the Amico release. Given that we have a limited number of Amico units initially, These partnerships will get the games into more hands and have been waiting to play, while helping get the word out to larger audience. As stated above, we are doing everything we can to make sure that we have a stable system before starting production. Well, I thought they'd already done production because they'd done the unboxing, didn't they? Not long ago. But
I'm sure I saw a video by Chad a while ago, about a year ago, dancing on the screen saying that the Amico was in pre-production. I'm sure, or had gone to production or something about a year ago. So I would take that with a pinch of salt.
He deleted it.
I'll take everything with a pinch of salt.
And that's basically it. This
is a website for that BBG Entertainment GmbH, which is a German company. So what do they do? Let's have a
Dino Blaster.
Is that Dino Blaster? That's the one.
It's gotta be.
Like that bomb game.
Boulder Dash Deluxe.
There you go. Found it. It's actually
Boulder Dash,
there's a game called
Dino Blaster.
What was it called? I just found it.
So these are mobile games.
Fox and Forest. If you compare Fox and Forest to Finn and Fox screenshots, it's just updated. It's just updated graphically.
Right. I'm not being funny, but they've not had a press update for nearly a year.
Are they even going?
It's because they're busy building Amicos, mate. They've signed a contract and they've sold their offices and they're busy building the Amico right now.
So what? It's 364
Andy,
days.
no, I don't.
No, Andy,
I'm shaking my head that behind the A for Andy just then.
So, because it's a leap year, that's 364 days ago, nearly a year, and they've not done any press releases. Why haven't they got the Amico as a press release?
Because they're going for a quiet period, Torbs.
There's quiet and there's just nothing.
Yeah.
So I'll take that with a pinch of salt.
It's one of these weird things. Like, why is there all these problems with the controller? Like, I think we were chatting sort of briefly at work today about it, or the other day. You know, it's they're running before they can walk. You know, there's so many things that could have gone wrong in that system, and you know, and I'm saying if this isn't a scam and they'd always wanted to bring out a system from the day dot, they've just gone totally turbo with this idea of, you know, the card reader, which is a cool idea. This crazy controller that does all this stuff, which is a cool idea. This one system that, you know, all the games are really cheap and people that make them, they can get money back on it. That's really cool as well. But can it do any of it properly? Just even one of those things. Can it do one of those things properly? And I don't think it can. And that is a real shame. You know, you should have just picked one of those cool ideas and just built the system around that. Even if it is outdated mobile technology and all this kind of stuff, like, fine. But to run with all of these really, you know, I don't want to say innovative ideas, but all these ideas that make a system fun as your first system with no real backing from, you know, previous sales of things. You know, it's not like Sony who can just take a punt, you know, we're going to make the PSP and the PS Vita to see if we can make a handheld. Oh, that didn't work out. All right, then we'll just drop it. You know, it's not quite like that, you know. So it just feels really like a real waste of time. It really does, and it's a shame because I think at one point we were kind of coloured interested. You know, we went from being this is not so sure to then being like, all right, I think there's something interesting here to follow, and then just nothing interesting emerged. Nothing happened.
Yeah, I think Andy Davidson's got a good point here. T-Dog, I assume he's talking about Tommy had a vision, but no talented staff to see it through to fruition. I think he did have a vision, and it was probably a very good vision. But like Ollie said, he tried to run before he could walk, and it got beyond what his initial vision was for this system. I think he probably met designers or game developers who said, "Oh, why don't you put, you know, have a touchscreen controller and motion sensors?" And it's just got out of control.
Yeah,
you know, like you said
sorry, you go on, you finish.
No, I was just going to say, like with the games that you just go beep, and then it puts, you know, what console? Even my PS5 don't do that, and that's like £450 worth of system. You know, even that can't do that. You have to type in the code, don't you, when you get your PS Plus subscription?
Yeah.
You know, and you think, how good is that system? And even that hasn't got a was it? I can't think what the card reader's called. remember when they were.
Yeah.
It's not QR. Is it not QR? Is it?
It's kind of
UFD or
QR.
something, isn't it?
Yeah.
NFC. NFC,
Yeah.
isn't it?
That's
NFC.
it. And, why does it need that? Just have a code that you type in. It doesn't need, people are happy to type a code. It's a pain in the arse on PlayStation when you've got to type in like an 18-digit number, but it's easy, isn't it? It's easy to do. Or you could just do it on your phone on the PS Store.
Yeah,
That's it.
I think the issue, I think, that is part of one of the issues they've got is they've got it's very feature rich, isn't it? They just keep on adding all these different features, all the different things the controller does, the beeping of the cards. They kept adding all these different features on and made it a very costly console. So it's quite expensive, isn't it? Really, if you look at how much the controllers cost. But then when you look at the games, you're saying like the games are cheap, but actually they do look like good mobile phone games. Or like if you bought a game of that standard in graphics off like a Switch from the eStore, you're looking like some indie games that don't cost that much. And they're like, actually, when you look at the games and what it's doing, it looks like a cheap system, but you're paying quite a lot for it. So I think the price point for me was always off. Whenever I looked at it, it looks kind of cool. I wouldn't mind playing on one. Possibly wouldn't even mind having one, but I don't think I'd be willing to pay that price for it. I think the price point was way off.
Yeah, but like Andy said, we spoke to him quite a bit. And I think there were some really good ideas, like having like certain games you could record bits and play buttons, so it'd come out with like swear words, and then you had like your leaderboards. And he was saying that you could take your controller around to your mate's house and basically play the games off your phone, off your like controller kind of thing. Like,
could you imagine it though? You would have to drive about 100 miles to find someone else with an Amigo.
Who else has got one? Yeah, I know. It's a good idea. Like I say, good ideas.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But like some of those ideas are great. But then when it was like, a certificate will be emailed to you and you can print it off, it's like, who really wants that nowadays? Who wants to?
Number one, Finnegan Fox.
Yeah, not many people have got printers nowadays, and it's not. It's just not a great idea at all. And can I just say hi to Liam, who's in the chat as well?
Indeedy, howdy. Yeah. It's like I think, like we said earlier, it's just one of these weird systems that it just when you think everything has been said, and just when you think that everybody's kind of done talking about it because there's no news, there's just someone that pops their head up. It's like, hello, we're still here. We're still making a system. Please don't forget about the Amigo. And then they go quiet again. And it strikes me as being this strange thing as well. Like no one I know or anyone that really, I guess, well, anyone maybe has actually played this system. Yes, it's been demoed at certain things. So, there's a handful of people that, yes, have played the system. But ultimately, no one has played this system. Yeah, that was the box, wasn't it?
Nice box.
So I still don't quite understand how people can go so hardcore into this system without actually physically having played anything. It's like it's literally like me.
Events there, haven't they? Where like people
they have. So you can say there's a handful of people that have played something. Have they played the Amico? That's up for debate. But they've played something that was meant to be porting to be an Amico.
DJC has played it and he said it's brilliant. So
okay,
and I for one believe
it. Of course you do. Has he got an Amico tattoo? Just out of interest, I'm sure.
I don't know. I
Please
can anyone answer that in the chat? I'm sure. Or it might be his own logo. He might have a DJC.
It might be his logo. I don't think it's got Amigo.
Yeah.
But my point being is that the amount of people that are really like hard or were, maybe they're not quite so much now, but 6-8 months ago, some people were so hard into this system. It is going to be the second coming of Christ, and no one has actually played it. It's literally like me saying the PS6 is the best system ever. It's just not out yet. There's no actual, you can't turn it on or anything like that. But I'm telling you, the PS6 is going to be the best system that's ever existed. Yeah, exactly. You can be interested in it and be into it and be an Intellivision fan and be excited for a new Intellivision product. Like, absolutely, totally go for it. But to be that convinced that something is literally going to change the world, it's just mental, absolutely mental. And it kind of feeds into this kind of mentality that some people have of just, it's okay to really like something, but it's also okay to kind of critique that thing sometimes. If something doesn't look great, that's fine. I don't buy every PS5 game or every Nintendo Switch game because some of them aren't very good. I'm not gonna drop 70 quid on something that's complete toss. So you don't have to look at every game that was coming out for the Amico and just say, oh, that's going to be amazing. It's cornhole. Like even with mates and a few beers, cornhole has a lifespan, and that lifespan is probably about 10 minutes. Maybe in America it's different.
When I went on holiday to Greece last month, you could play cornhole like once a week. The reps would come around. Who wants a game of cornhole? And there was about 2 takers every day of a hotel of probably like 1,000 people. So that shows you how popular cornhole is. When they done boulets, there was like the French boulet things. There was like 10 people playing that. That was more popular than cornholes.
I don't get how you can be that hard. Like Andy says.
I am the devastating.
Who is that?
I was just watching one of his videos.
Doves.
Yeah, it's just
we're gonna get a copyright strike now.
Yeah.
Fair use.
But yeah, I agree with Andy. I don't understand how you can be that hardcore into something that doesn't actually exist.
And you have to give Blaze credit because Amico fans will use, there was a global pandemic and now there's a war in Ukraine but Blaze have got 2 different systems out and they're about to get a third in the space.
They brought one out during a pandemic.
Yeah, exactly.
The Evercade VS came out during a pandemic, and that was only delayed.
Well, the original Evercade came out 3 months into the UK lockdown. So, it is doable. So I know it makes things harder, but Blaze managed to do it. And I doubt Blaze at that time had as many backers as what the Amico did.
So who's turning up in the Intellivision collection free?
I mean, I think it'd be a good idea getting an Amico cart out. I mean, I think some people would probably buy it purely out of morbid interest as well. So, yeah, I think that would be a good deal. Bring out an Amico cartridge. Glaze, get on it. Amico cartridge, let's go.
Yeah, Andy's got a point here. The chip shortage statement was nothing more than an excuse. Yeah, if Blaze can do it, why can't you? If these RG351P Ambernick is throwing out handhelds like they're out of fashion, and I assume they've got some kind of chip in them.
Look at Liam, man. I'm 2 years behind, and they were talking about it coming in 2020.
Keep us posted, Liam.
Keep us updated. You'll probably give better updates than the actual Phil, whatever his name is.
Yeah. But it's such a shame because I think even when we were really critical of it in the beginning, we always said we hoped it would come out because everything deserves an audience, and maybe this will find its audience and just see where it went. But it just never came out. And like Tim said earlier, I still hope it comes out because that would be really really fucking weird to have an actual Amico out of people's homes.
I really hope it comes out for the people that have bought the games already. I saw some really bad posts on the Amico groups on Facebook. But it's like, I was really excited to open up my presents at Christmas and see I've got opening up my Amico games, and I just had to pretend that I had the console. I was like, imagine opening up your presents at Christmas. You're getting games for a console that doesn't exist yet. It's like, for those people, Christmas, I hope they get their Amico one day, but.
This Christmas, you still can't play it.
No. That's the ones.
It's just
you couldn't buy them singly. You couldn't buy them singly. You had to buy them in packs of 6, and they were like 60 quid.
It was a crowdfunder, wasn't it?
Is there a way? Is there a way to find out if those cards have got information on them?
I reckon Rager would be able to, because he just put in there that they would be easy to copy. So if we could get hold of one, Rager's the man, I reckon. who would be able to do it.
Okay, so this is a genuine question then to Rhaegar, potentially for research purposes. If we were to obtain a sealed Amico cartridge, could we somehow open it, record it all, and find out if it has any information on it? If anyone in the chat, specifically Rhaegar, knows whether we could do that, I would be well up for having a little whip round and seeing if we could find if there was any information on one.
100% be up for
just
that.
for shits and giggles. Or
It's
has
not- I don't-
everybody
I've not
got a
seen-
blank piece of plastic in biodegradable cardboard with a gold coin? Is that what's actually in there, or is there a game on that card?
And you're
Oh my
forgetting
God.
about the hologram. What's that card called?
Yeah, NFC.
No, they're like hologram.
Oh,
Thing.
the
It's called-
lithogram thing,
That's it. Yeah.
or lenticular. Lenticular.
Yes. Just
Love a
basically
lenticular.
another word for a hologram.
Yeah.
It is
On a
lenticular
card.
stuff.
Well,
DJC
DJC has told me that there's games on those cards.
Okay,
And,
NFC.
the knife one,
I
but
guess-
Surely they must have. What would their plan be if they didn't have anything on these cards, and then
Yeah.
they actually do manage to get the system out, and all
Maybe
the people that have
download
their
it.
cards
You
go to
download
play
it.
them and it doesn't work.
you download them onto the cards. That's got to be it.
Okay.
There it is.
So-
Evil Knievel.
Okay, so Rhaegar says, see what he can do. Might be able to see if he can read it. Okay, let us know if that's something that is like a really genuine possibility, and if it is, maybe we'll have a little whip round and see what's available. What could we potentially afford? 'Cause we only need one.
Oh, quick, get on eBay, someone.
I know a couple of
Interesting.
YouTubers have got them. So
Interesting. Okay.
He said, like he's just said, he wonders if it just has a link on it.
I think it
Yeah.
will.
Probably just
Yeah.
has a
Read
download.
it and make it download. Yeah, I think he's probably right. But it'd be interesting. Yeah.
Okay. We might be onto something here. This could be fun. Or we'll get hit with a cease and desist, which would be cool in its own right. I mean, that would be so fucking cool in its own right, would it not? A cease and desist from Intellivision.
Well, they'll probably open up the cease and desist with greetings, like he did on that email, which I thought was a bit weird. Greetings. It's like, really?
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Cool. Anything else that we want to chat, Amico, before we move on to our possibly last topic, dependent upon how quickly we get through this. We can then go on to the
I think just cover this fairly quickly because it's been out for a little while, isn't it?
Okay, so next topic. Atari 50, the anniversary celebration. Yeah. Anybody buying anything? Anybody buying it?
I'll be honest, I have one thing to
Careless.
say, and that is just I find it very hard to get excited about Atari games.
Yeah, let's
That's
move
it.
on.
What games are on it? Because it is
So
a
I
disc,
share
isn't
it. I'll share it.
Yars'
I've got it,
Revenge.
I've got it up.
It's got to be Yars' Revenge.
It is, but it's got.
Did
a
you see
new
there was a
version of
remake?
Yars' Revenge on acid.
Yeah, there was a
There's
remake of
blood.
Yars' Revenge, wasn't
Ollie
there?
would say, yeah.
Yars Return or something, or Yars
What games are on it?
Revenge,
Here we go.
Revenge.
You all seeing it? Over 100 games.
Games.
Wow.
I just can't get excited about Atari games. Sorry, it's just
Where's-
I played the
It's-
Atari cart on the Evercade. I was just like, that's
Well, you bought it, did you?
it's kind of a bit dull. No, it
No,
came with
that's not it.
the starting kit, didn't it? The starter pack Evercade came with an Atari cart.
How do you get a
Wow.
list of games, or are they not
It might have to be somewhere else. You might have to Google it.
features? Here we go.
No,
Gallery.
Just one page, isn't it?
That's Yars' Revenge on acid. Dorbs, look at that.
That is
Their
garbage.
recharged series.
okay.
That's on about 100 consoles.
Okay.
See, why haven't Evercade got this? That looks cool. That does. I like that. That
It's not
boxing.
cool, isn't it?
Oh, that's it.
That's
for the
it.
gallery.
That's
So
all
I'm
you
gonna,
get. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go elsewhere because they don't want to tell us.
Not
what's on this
interested.
card.
Not interested in that in the slightest.
I mean, at this point, Atari's on like everything, isn't it? I mean, you can get. There's an Atari collection, I think, on every PlayStation console going now. I don't think there's And again, I mean, Nintendo are famous for it, aren't they? They re-release everything, and people buy it again. But I'm looking at the majority of my Nintendo collections, and I don't think they've released Twilight Princess on every Nintendo console ever made. Obviously, because it wasn't out then, but also the original Legend of Zelda, I don't think is on every Nintendo console ever made. Yet I think Yar's Revenge is possibly on every console ever made.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many times you can re-release these Atari games before people just kind of go, oh, for God's sake, really? More? Like, for a little while, I was really interested in that Atari VCS like console system because it had a handful of games on it that were being developed for that console specifically, and I thought that some of those looked really good. And then I saw the price of the thing, and I was like, absolutely not. And I've just never been interested again since. So, I mean, are there still people out there that are really hardcore into Atari and don't just see it as like a...
Yeah, some people.
Yeah, there must be.
I think I'm just looking here. What is I can't get a list of the games, but what is pretty cool is you're getting Jaguar games.
Are they good Jaguar games?
And Lynx games. It says Jaguar and Lynx games will be officially available to play on modern consoles. So, what are we getting? I think we're getting Street Racer, which isn't very. It's just a poor version of Mario Kart. If anyone else can find it, I can't find anything with a list of games anywhere.
Let's have a look.
Trying to find it.
No, not
We're getting Yar's Revenge reimagined.
Yeah,
reimagined,
which applies modern graphics to the best-selling first-party Atari 2600 games. God, that was the most popular game on that system. Yar's Revenge. My God. Yeah,
I mean, it's
just
I can't find any other games other than some of those, which doesn't bode well when you're almost about to release this and you can't find the complete list of games.
That's mad, isn't it?
Okay, all
I
games.
saw it on Amazon earlier advertised.
50. I mean, surely it's got to be a 25 quid thing, hasn't it? It can't be a 50 quid game.
It's $34.99. Oh, it's saying here it's got 100 games on it.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Need to make up their mind. Make them mind.
I just want to know what the Jaguar games are.
Right. Oh no, but even this isn't a complete list. This is just Asteroids, Atari Kart, Centipede, Cybermorph, Fight for Life, Haunted House, Miner, 2049, Missile Command 3D, Neo Breakout, Pong, Quad Track, Sword Quest, Tempest, Yar's Revenge, Reimagined, Yoomp, whatever that is. But there's still not a complete list. Like that's still just the ones that everybody knows. Like
it's out according to Amazon. When's it out? You get free returns if you don't like it. You can send it back. It's out on Saturday, November the 12th. So I'll release November the 11th.
Well, have we seen this one? Look.
Oh, is that it?
There we go.
So scroll down to the Jaguar games. They're the ones we're interested in. Oh, so it's hardly got any. Oh, it's Atari Kart, not Street Racer. Cybermorph is that Where Did You Learn to Fly game.
Where did you learn to fly?
Yeah. What's the Lynx games? Because I
Basketball, Super
on
Astro
Evercade,
on
Evercade, not on Evercade. Okay, but those games are going to look garbage.
Our games, though, isn't it? Really, you get quite a lot on there.
You've got to get some new games.
Yeah, you got a handful of new ones.
Is any of it any good though?
No.
You know, I'm looking at some games that what have I picked up recently?
Oh, Street Racer is on there. What system's that on?
2600.
That wasn't on. Unless there was a version on 2600. I thought that was like a Mega Drive game.
Yeah.
Keep going down. Has it got ST? Everyone likes Atari ST, don't they?
Yeah, one game. Asteroids Deluxe,
running off,
which is on the Evercade apparently.
No, it's not on Evercade. They've put the wrong version on the Evercade.
But they advertise it as Asteroids Deluxe.
Yeah, but it's not.
So for 35 quid, you could go and get this on either PS4, Switch, or Xbox One.
I knew you were going to hold that.
Yeah.
35 quid, or I picked it up on Payday. It's in the other room. For 30 quid, you can go and get the Cowabunga collection, which is pretty much every retro Ninja Turtles game going, including the 3 on Game Boy, including Hyperstone Heist, Turtles in Time, the arcade port, and the Super Nintendo port. Pretty much all the arcade game, and that's 30 quid. And pretty much every single one of those games on that disc is great, really good. And it's the same price as those Atari ones. Yes, there's 100 games or 90 games or however many games they're porting on it, but are any of them any good? Why pump it full of everything that's possibly not great? Again, just slim it down. I don't know.
Oh, definitely.
It's pretty safe to say I don't think any of us are picking it up, are we?
No,
not for me.
No. Oh, a better version of the Cowabunga collection is coming to the Dreamcast.
Dreamcast.
I saw a Dreamcast game in the wild today.
Yeah,
in a charity shop for £5. I never picked it up because Dorbs looked it up on its phone, and it was on eBay for about £3. So, I'm not going to name and shame the charity shop, but hang your heads in shame.
Yeah,
because you're overcharging.
I think we should do a new video series, and it can be called Ryan's in the Wild. And it can just
I've got a load of
Ryan's
PS2 games, and to do my recent pickup video. Now my laptop is allowing my microphone to work again. I can do that, so I'll try and get that done whenever you're free, Tim, because I know you're going to join me on it. Hopefully in the next few days we'll get that recorded.
It's going to be a monster, isn't it? Have these pickups, have they got a story behind them? Because I like pickups.
I don't know, because you've given me a load of games and I've not looked at any of them. So they're all going to be a
we get your blind reaction then, they don't we? From
exactly. But can I just shout out to Roger Olver again from the Evercade Fans Hub? Go over, check it out. He kindly sent me some games as well, and awesome. Some of those games are really cool as well, and they're not cheap games. So big shout out to Roger.
Did Ian send them as well?
He said he was going to, but I think they've been lost in the post.
Well, there are
yeah, they are going overseas from him, aren't they? So And anyway, I don't expect people to send me anything. It's very, very kind of anyone to send me any games. It's always really appreciated. Are we going to go on to, before we get the questions, sorry, Ollie, are we going to go on to our predictions quickly?
Absolutely. So this one is specific to Dorbs and Ryan, who did a stream about Clash at the Castle last week or week before. Can't remember when it was. Last week. If you've not seen it, watch it. It's good fun. Even if you don't like wrestling, it's a good crack. So Clash at the Castle predictions versus results.
I'll read the first match that we predicted, and I'll stick it up on screen quickly.
First one was Sheamus against Gunther.
Okay.
And I went for Sheamus, and you went for Gunther.
Oh, so that's 1-0 to me.
Oh yeah, you're going to win this. You are going to win this.
Just looking at that image really big now, because I must admit I watched your stream on my phone. Sheamus, is he the one who plays Rocksteady in the newer Ninja Turtles movies they did?
He is indeed, yeah.
He does, yeah.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
He's
I know a modern wrestler.
Next up was Seth Rollins one with Riddle, is it?
Yeah.
I said this will be a schmoz, and you went for Seth.
Oh, okay, so that's 2-0 to me.
Yeah.
Just like say, Riop says he's not watched it yet. I haven't either, so this is just
all
spoilers.
Spoilers.
Like la la la.
Just walk away, Tim.
Mute your mic.
I don't mind.
Next,
it's like 3 days, 4 days, 5 days.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's been out for a while. I haven't made time to watch it.
Nearly a week old.
The next one, Dorbs.
Next one was the 6-woman tag, and we both went for the heels, so we both won that one.
Okay. Excellent. So what's that? 3-1?
3-1, yeah.
Yeah.
Next up was Liv against someone. Can't remember her name.
Yeah.
Liv Morgan Tim's sister against and we
I'll be round later, Tim.
we both went for Liv on this one.
Okay, good. So that's 4-2.
Yeah, you're doing well. Next up was Edge and Rey Mysterio against the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Now I went for Edge and Rey Mysterio, and you went for the Judgment Day.
Did I?
You did.
Really?
And we predicted the heel turn for Dominic as well, so that's good.
Okay, so that was that 4-3. 4-3. So going into the last.
And then the last one, we predicted the cash in. We got that right. But I can't remember. I haven't watched the video in full, so I went. I'm sure I went for McIntyre.
I went McIntyre 100%.
Yeah.
And,
so basically, yeah. So what's that?
McIntyre should have won 100%.
5-3. So that's not bad. It's good score.
Yeah. 5-3. So that's a win to me. Thank you very much.
It is, yeah, that's good.
You also predicted some actual stuff happening at the Money in the Bank cash in and a few bits like
that. We did. Yeah, we got that right. That was good cash in. That was quite fun.
There was a bloke who come bursting into the loo before the show started. I'm sorry, I'm just going to talk about this quickly. And he come in, yeah, I'll tell you what's going to happen, mate. Bray Wyatt's going to appear. This is going to happen. He's going to stop Theory cashing in. I've read it. Oh no, it's going to, like it was almost like the writers had been on the phone to him. And I was so glad that never happened because that guy really annoyed me. And he was so cocky and confident. And especially when I'm with my 8-year-old daughter, who, she still thinks it's all real when someone's talking about it being scripted.
Well,
and stuff. You just think, it is real. And you just think, what an idiot. You don't he's the kind of person, I said this to you, Nintendo Ollie, you would go into the cinema and you would ruin the ending of the film before it's even started.
Yeah, there's always a handful of those people. There's a handful of people like that.
That we got right was Bret Hart would be there as well, because obviously that bloke in that group that we're in was like, no way, he signed an exclusive deal with me. He's not turning up. He's getting on the plane as soon as his contract's done. He's gone. No, mate, he was there. He was there waving. So doing a David Brent,
Saw that video of Tyson Fury knocking that guy out, stopping him from running with that briefcase.
Yeah, well, I've heard he's still there. He's still unconscious in the stadium.
He was on Raw. He was on Raw this week. So
has he? Has he got black eyes?
He had a really bad jaw though. He kept playing.
Fair enough.
Jaw. And he kept calling it. He kept calling it Crown Jewel instead of Clash of the Champion. So it's like
he's concussed as well.
Yeah, basically. Cool. Are we going to get to questions? Sorry.
Yeah, we can get some questions in there. So we got some interesting ones. So let's go with the first one, which came in right out of the gate from Mike Holton. Is, are we going to chat about The Last of Us Remastered 2 and the £70 piss take? It is the first one. It's not. It is the first one, and it is technically, I guess, a ground up remake. It's not just a reskin or a remaster. I don't know. People seem really conflicted on this, and it is something I'm going to be picking up next month because I like The Last of Us. I think it's a great story, and I would love to play it with updated graphics. I would love to play it with ray tracing and all these great effects that they've managed to do on all these modern games and stuff. And I don't know, everyone that seems to have played it seems to really like it, and even some of the people that have gone, it's a cash grab, have kind of gone, yeah, it's a pretty good cash grab though. So I don't know, I don't see it as a cash grab. I'm going to be picking it up and I'm going to play it. Yeah, 70 quid. But we've said so many times on these streams, that is that price point that they want you to have for these AAA titles now. Yeah, occasionally one slips through the net at like 55, but 70, that is that price point. They've been gunning for that for years, and they are going for it.
It will come down in price, and if you're desperate to play that game, you can get it. If you've got PS5, it's part of the PS5 collection. On the PS4 version is a free download, so just download it. If you're that desperate to play the game, download it. If you're unhappy about the £70, if you've never played it or you want to replay it, then pay 70 quid for it on the PS5. You've got a choice. You have got a choice. If you own a PS5, you can have it for free. So stop your whining. Stop your whining.
It's a good point. It is also a choice, yes. But yeah, I'm going to be picking it up next month. That's for sure.
The thing is, as well, with buying like games new, I always find that if I buy like a game on launch day, not a lot of time passes before you see it on like a crazy deal for like 50% off. Or
Yeah,
something.
exactly. You're better off waiting.
There's too many deals too soon.
Not a Nintendo.
So yeah, I just not a big fan of buying. I used to all the time buy games on launch day just because I was hyped for them, and then after a while, I just kept on seeing these deals. Like, oh, you know, a game you bought like 2 months ago, now you can get it for like £30 less. I was like, oh. So I started getting a bit fed up with it. So now I just tend to, get whatever's on deals and offers. Yeah, or hold fire and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So next one from Mr. Rieger. Where do you channel in 5 years? Do you think you do meetups in person or be part of a panel at a con? Wow. Okay. Fuck. That's like an actual question.
When I first saw that, I thought, when I first read that, I thought it said, do you see yourselves on Channel 5?
Hopefully.
I'd love to be on Channel 5. That'd be amazing. Where do we see the channel in 5 years? Christ. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure I know where the channel's going to be in the next 5 months. We just
hopefully,
kind of month to
in
month.
5 years, we might see the launch of the Amico. So we might be doing a
Amico launch special.
Amico reaction video.
Amico special. Yeah,
Amico special
reaction video.
We'll do a second apology letter.
Apology.
For ever doubting it.
I
think
think
we'll be
we're
on the
going to
Evercade
go
number 10 console now. By then.
in terms of meetups in person. No one wants to meet up. But, don't. But no one will want to go out of their way to meet us. But if they ever do want to meet us, then we will advertise that we're going to be at that arcade place in Southampton again at some point. We were at the Hobbit the other day, so always feel free to join us for a beer. We're a very social bunch, and very 100%. Welcoming. So,
I think it would be more like events, isn't it? So he's mentioned there like being at a con. If we're at a convention, then we'll obviously announce that, and people can come say hi and stuff, and go for a beer afterwards.
100%. I mean, it would be a part of a panel at a con. Like, Christ, I've said on streams before, that's my dream. I've had a few dreams in my life. Going on tour with bands and doing all this stuff is one, but being on a panel at a games convention is up there as one of my dreams. So if anyone would like to make that happen, by all means, please. Yeah, exactly. Let's make dreams happen. Wow, an actual question. Cheers, Rieger. Crazy Burger. So, out of all the folks you've interviewed, who has been your least favourite?
Ouch.
I'll accept me. John, it's not you. It's never going to be you. You beautiful, beautiful human being. I mean, there is one that has been my least favourite. And I don't know if we're really allowed to say the name because it gives it publicity, I guess. The one from the He Who Shall Not Be Named.
I would. So say He Who Shall Not Be Named. No, Crazy John, I wasn't getting a chippy tea. I was plugging my laptop in. Charger was, and now my cat wants to go out of the lounge, so I'm gonna have to move again in a minute. Maybe rule them out because that's an easy answer. The one we don't talk about.
Oh,
I think that's a cop out.
That's harsh.
I've got one.
Oh God,
I've got one.
Mine was one.
I won't name names, but I didn't really appreciate a lot of effing and blinding by one of our guests.
I wasn't thinking that one actually. I was thinking something else.
Dropping the C-bomb every now and again. I don't think that's really how I see this channel. I like to see it more. Yeah, definitely. The odd swear word's fine, but swearing for the sake of it is just not needed.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't thinking of that person. I was thinking of someone else. I won't say
Chad. Yeah, I think that kind of covers it. We've enjoyed interviewing pretty much everybody. And I don't think we've necessarily. I mean, everyone's got like a favorite, haven't they? But I don't think anyone has necessarily enjoyed interviewing anybody less. But there's definitely a couple that we've not enjoyed. The one of He Who Shall Not Be Named, and just a couple of other light ones. But we'll keep it friendly. We're not here to burn bridges. Andy D, is the Atari 2 retro?
Yes. Next.
I don't know if it's too retro. It's just not what I grew up with.
Yeah, so, same.
I think people who grew up with it, like, you know, Metal Jesus Rocks. He loves the Atari, but then he grew up with it, and I think that has a huge play on whether or not it's too grown up for you, so, or too retro for you. Sorry. So let's get rid of that. Mr. Burger, I enjoy the wrestling, or used to. Is it okay for grown men to enjoy the wrestling? Absolutely. Sorry, there's me swearing.
Ladies,
No point.
ladies.
Yeah, but that's fine. That's not just
Yeah. I obviously wrestling goes well over my head because it wasn't anything I grew up watching. But yeah, of course it is. It's absolutely fine for a grown adult to like absolutely anything.
I accept that wrestling is a very, very unique form of entertainment, and it seems to be a very much you either really, really like it or you just don't get it. And you think, why on earth would you like to watch this? There's no real in between, is there? I don't think you really get like casual wrestling fans. You either watch wrestling or you don't. I think it's just one of those things.
It's yeah. So yeah, I mean, as long as if you're a grown adult, you can like whatever you want, you know. Especially you know, collectors and geeks and nerds and stuff. We tend to like a lot of things from our childhoods, and you know, as soon as you start earning a paycheck, you're willing to put money into that thing a bit more. So yeah, of course it is. If you could never watch an Evercade YouTuber again, who would you choose?
Well, I can think of 3 straight away.
I was going to say, we'll have to give Dawn a bit of time to think about this one because I know he loves it.
I can think of 3, and they're just, I'm not going to name them. They're just an absolute embarrassment.
What I will say is the Evercade YouTubers you need to watch are Crazy Burger.
Yes.
It's much more.
Yeah.
People who
UK
I know
crowd.
Games Re-Up, UK crowd.
UK
Games
crowd,
Re-Up has done some Evercade stuff. Who's in the chat? You need to go to people who are not massively biased.
Not the 3 Stooges, as I call them.
Yeah,
who just literally, no matter what happens, it's amazing. Do you know that meme? That I think it's from South Park, the bloke at his computer and he's covered in, you know. That is them. It's absolutely pathetic. And then cringy is dreadful.
Raya, also another great YouTuber from the other side of the pond, does some good Evercade content. Raya,
she's cool. She does some pretty good. Yeah, check her out. She's really cool.
This one I think is going to be more aimed at Ryan. When's the next Everchat?
I don't know when the next Everchat is.
Ooh, exclusive.
Exclusive.
How's that exclusive? Well, I don't know. That exclusive would be like, I would say, I find it difficult, Rob, at the moment because I haven't got the most recent 4 cartridges and I haven't ordered an EXP. So it's hard for me to be able to talk about the current Evercade news and review things when I haven't got the cartridges. So covering Evercade tonight, I think has been pretty cool with you guys. But it's not. I'm not saying Everchat will never happen again. I'm sure it will, and we just need to chat to Roger and the fans hub. But yeah, I don't know how I can sit here or sit on that and give my opinion on something that I haven't played. So it.
Someone's Alexa kicking.
Who's that? Is that you, Tim?
That's Dawson.
Yeah,
Alexa.
That's my Alexa.
So yeah, that's what I would say about Everchat at the moment. It's been parked for the time being, whilst I either catch up or just decide what I'm doing with Evercade.
Okie pokey. Next question from Mr. Liam: will we be at the Nottingham Video Game Expo in December? We would love to be there. We were trying to make something work. I think we've got Jarvis and Re-Up coming on at some point in the future to talk a lot about the Nottingham Video Games Expo, because it's going to be a really good event. It's put on obviously by James from Mitch Much More and Games Re-Up, so it's going to get our full support. Of course it is, because it's a new convention put on by 2 people that we class as friends. I think we would love to be there. We'd just have to sort of see how it all pans out, because it's a bit of a trek for us, and it's the week before Christmas. So, but I think we'd like to be there. That's what we'd like to say on that, and hopefully we'll be able to figure something out.
It's also World Cup final weekend, isn't it? So that makes it a little bit more tricky as well, because especially on the Sunday, if England are in the final,
the world will stop.
Yeah, and everyone will want to be watching it, and I especially will want to be at home to watch it. No offense to James and El, their convention will be awesome, I'm sure, but England in the World Cup final happens once in a lifetime. If it happens, and it probably won't.
If England are in the final, even I might watch it.
Hey!
I never really watch football, so
we'll go to Tim. We'll go to the nil free. We'll go to a pub, Tim. We'll watch it live with some people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
2-3.
Okay. Next one is from Mr. Rip himself. Are we heading towards a point where there are too many games being released, aka too much choice and too much to buy and play? I don't know.
No.
I would say we're heading towards it. I say we're well past it. I don't have time to play all my games. Got Games Pass and like PlayStation Network stuff, and then like Retro Pies with like huge games lists. I don't have time to play all my games now, so I wouldn't say we're heading towards it. I'm saying we've passed that point now. At least I have.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of. I'm still picking up PS4 games. If my PS3 wasn't in the loft and I had the space, I would probably still be picking up the odd PS3 game that I still want to play through. Yeah, I think. Yeah,
at the same time, you can never have too many games.
Exactly, you've always got to have something on the back burner ready to go. Always. Yeah, I'm just sort of looking at the games I've got to play at the minute and thinking, crap, there is still shitloads. But yeah, I agree with you. I think we're too far over. Mr. Rager with another question. Who is the next guest? Who is the next guest?
I can't remember.
That's where we all have to load up. We've all got to load up the app.
No, don't announce it. We'll announce it a few days before.
I'm allowed to say?
We'll see.
No, don't really announce it a few days before, in case someone tries to steal our guests.
Everyone that's stuck with us for an hour and a half can get exclusive.
Yeah, we're uncensored.
Yeah.
Uncensored. If we stick it in the the chat. Where's the normal chat for us? Private chat. There we go. Let me see if I've got this right. Is it this one?
Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, I think we can announce him.
Yeah. We have got Billy Twig, the author of Raging Destiny, also part of the OLL, the cafe up in Norwich. So he is going to be our next guest. We're very excited to have him on. We were on his podcast a couple of weeks ago. We had a really good time with him. It was a really good podcast. We had a lot of fun on that. It was really nice to have someone invite us onto something which we were just, chomping at the bit to be a part of. So, yes, we have Billy Twig, the author of Raging Destiny, is our next guest. I don't know if I'll put that next one up. We've got too many dodgy Southampton players. That feels like a statement, that doesn't it, rather than a question? But
we just Scotland's national team.
Oh, okay. Yes, Bill is a decent dude. Yes, can't wait to have him on and sort of just chat a little bit more about that. So,
can I just find Goldtooth? But I know Billy. Does he mean Billy Twig, or is he talking about another Billy?
Probably Billy and Tarquin, I think.
yeah. I need to know, Goldtooth. You need to tell us.
Billy Tarquin. Okay. Right. We've gone for an hour and a half. We've reached the end of our little uncensored extravaganza. It's always good fun to do these.
Do you want a quick chat update?
Do we want a chat update?
Yeah.
Do people want a chat update?
I think so.
Do the people want a chat update?
Well, I'm going to keep this as short as I can. So yeah, basically,
Chad.
Obviously, Chad, he quit YouTube. His family was, got threatened, so he quit YouTube, which is, fair play. Immediately started a new channel the next day, and then went on another stream a couple of days after. So obviously his family was safe straight away. So yeah, he's now started a new channel done exclusively for a particular console, bloody blah. And now he's actually made a statement the other day, which I saw in someone's comment, which is the Evercade is better than the Steam Deck. So that tells you all credibility of Chad. 0. So yeah, that's a quick update. He's now he was going to do exclusively Evercade stuff, but now he's doing a little bit in between. So he's done a Playdate video and a Steam Deck video, and hopefully, fingers crossed, he's going to do an Amico video. Go back to doing the Amico. So looking forward to that. Cannot wait for that.
There we go.
Wow,
The Chad update. It's happened. There he is.
Who's unzipping something, by the way? Someone is like, is someone? All I can hear is a zip.
Someone is preparing to make a mega dash to the toilet, aren't they? They're just getting ready, so that it's just it's a quick fluid.
My money's
release.
on Tim.
No,
Okay.
I've got drawstring shorts on, so it's definitely because I've got no zips.
Possibly.
Yes.
Okay, I really enjoy these little uncensored things. I think it's a good laugh. I love having guests on, but I do get a little kick out of these. Maybe we can make it a regular thing.
We need to.
Do people enjoy this when it's just us, reprobates chatting absolute cod scrap for an hour and a half? Do people want these a little bit more regular as well, like maybe one a month? I know me and Ryan sort of it's the uncensored.
I'm laughing at Goldtooth's comment as well.
Yeah,
who was it, by the way? There was definitely a zip.
Definitely not me. No idea.
100% not me. Not me. Yeah. I think Ryan mentioned before we went live. Maybe doing one a month might be pretty cool. So throwing it out there, if people get a bit of small kick out of us talking absolute rubbish, then we'll do it, because I enjoy it. It's good fun. Fortnite. Jesus, I think people get bored of us very quick.
I feel we can be more ourselves on this video. When we have a guest, you have to, you're asking them a lot of questions, and you need to give them the time. Whereas
exactly.
When it's just the 5 of us, our characters come out a bit more. Yeah,
100%. Cool. Well, we'll see what we can do. We'll see if we do one a month for a while. See what happens, because it's great fun. Cool. Unless anybody has anything else they want to bring up on any of the topics we've had this evening, or introduce.
Just before we go, Goldtooth said we need some more singing. So
sometimes I just pray for gaming. Sometimes I just pray for soul. Sometimes I just pray to the gods of retro gaming revival. And no one can save me now but you. Goof!
Never got bored of that.
Legend.
Oh, man.
We need to, Girfade. That's coming soon, isn't it?
Girfade. Could we commission Goldtooth to do a song for us for every uncensored? If we do one a month, could we commission a little segment from Goldtooth every time we do an uncensored, and we can bring that in at the start?
No, Andy, I don't. You can watch whatever you want.
I don't even know who Chad is.
I choose not to watch him because he's just cringy, and he's I've got to be careful what I say. Allegedly.
Anyway,
watch whoever you want, Andy.
Leave it there.
That's the
it's
wonderful
great to have
thing.
you in the chat, Andy, and you're someone who always supports us. You've supported us for a very, very long time, so it's always really appreciated.
Splendid. Okie dokie. Right. Let's call it there before we get ourselves into trouble. Chaps, it's been absolutely wonderful. Always is. Am I going to do the outro? Is Ryan going to do the outro? I'll let Ryan do the outro. He's good with the buttons and getting this all sorted. So, yes, thank you ever so much, everyone, for joining us this evening. The chat's been brilliant. Interactions have been great, as always. Can't wait for the next one. So, we'll see you on the 15th for Billy Twig, and excellent stuff. It's got to be Dwarves, hasn't it? It's got to be Dwarves. Right. Anyway.
Not me. I've got shorts.
Oh my god. Right, let's call it a night really quickly. Thank you everybody for watching.
Right,
we'll see you next week. Later, mate.
Goodbye, everyone.